Greetings, Seeker. The chronicle we examine today is a singular thread in the vast tapestry of this reality. It is a story of particular violence, or perhaps a testament to indomitable will. To truly do it justice, one must hear it from a voice that was closer to the event, a voice that has studied its echoes more intimately than even I. Oh, brother, you may proceed.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. But war has many faces, and survival demands adaptation. This is the tale of a predator who understood a fundamental truth. A cage is only a prison if you don't control the lock. The contained predator doctrine. It would become whispered legend among the criminal underworld of the 41st millennium. Allow yourself to be captured. Turn your enemies' prisons into intelligence networks. Transform their arrogance into your arsenal. Walk their halls, learn their secrets, and when you leave them burning. This is the story of how one man, lost in the void between universes, became the shine-eyed king. Act 1. The Beast of Komorag. Chapter 1. The Salvage. The void is patient. It waits for all things. The cryopod tumbled through the Imperium, a metal coffin adrift in unreality. How long it had drifted, none could say. Time moves differently in the space between spaces, where nightmares leak through and physics becomes negotiable. When the sleek, blade-like craft of the Dark Eldar found it, the Kabbalite warriors aboard the Fleshrender thought it a curiosity. Their Archon, Kyle the Thrice-Pierced, collected curiosities. Inside the pod, sensors detected a single human, powerful, gene-enhanced, sedated but somehow aware. And when they pried open the pod, they saw his eyes. Even unconscious, they seemed to gleam with a faint silver sheen in the darkness. "Bring it," Archon Kyle commanded, his voice like silk over razors. The arenas always hunger for new meat. Chapter 2. Awakening in Hell. Riddick's first thought upon waking was simple. Wrong gravity, wrong air, wrong everything. His second thought was more practical. Find the exits, count the guards, identify the weapons. He was in a cage, a force field barrier humming with alien energy. Beyond it stretched a nightmare cityscape of impossible spires and twisted architecture. Komorag, the Dark City. Though he didn't know the name yet, his instincts screamed Predator's Den. A melodious, cruel voice echoed through his cell. "The beast awakens." How delightful. "Tell me, Mon K, do you know where you are?" Riddick said nothing. He studied the speaker, a tall, impossibly graceful figure in Baroque armor, face hidden behind a cruel mask. But it was the stance that told Riddick everything. Arrogant, overconfident, theatrical, exploitable. Nothing to say? No matter. The crowds will loosen your tongue, or perhaps tear it out. Either way, they will be entertained. Chapter 3. The Pits. The fighting pits of Komorag are not like anything humanity has ever conceived. They exist not for sport, but for the sustenance of an entire species. Every scream, every moment of terror and agony feeds the Dark Eldar, delaying their soul's inevitable consumption by she who thirsts. Riddick's first fight lasted 11 seconds. His opponent was a stim-crazed Ogrin slave, 9 feet of muscle and rage. The crowd expected a show. They got efficiency. Riddick used the creature's momentum against it, redirected its charge into the arena wall, and finished it with a salvaged bone fragment to the eye socket. The crowd's disappointment was palpable. But Archon Kale leaned forward in his box seat, suddenly interested. "Again," he commanded. They sent 5 witch cult aspirants. Riddick studied their pattern for 3 seconds, identified the weakest link, eliminated her first, used her curved blade to create chaos among the others. 40 seconds. Again. A wounded Eslith mercenary, its 4 arms still deadly despite its injuries. Riddick let it come to him, used the darkness at the pit's edge, shadows the Dark Eldar had installed for ambiance, and struck from behind. 29 seconds. The crowd's mood shifted. This wasn't entertainment. This was something else. Something efficient. Something frightening in its cold precision. Archon Kyle rose from his seat, his expression unreadable behind his mask. The beast has teeth, after all. How? Interesting. Chapter 4. The Student of Pain. Weeks passed, then months. Riddick fought, survived, and more importantly, learned. He learned the language of the Dark Eldar, through pain and observation. He learned their hierarchy. The Kabbalite warriors served the Archons, who ruled through cruelty and cunning. The witch cults worshipped combat as art. The incubi were emotionless killers, perfect in their discipline. And the homunculi, the flesh crafters, existed outside the normal power structure, trading in flesh and favors. He learned that the Dark Eldar were ancient beyond human comprehension, 10,000 years of refined sadism and survival. They were arrogant, yes, but not stupid. They had survived the fall that birthed a chaos god. They were apex predators, which meant they had blind spots. All apex predators do. During a forced tour of Archon Kyle's collection, a grotesque menagerie of tortured creatures from across the galaxy, Riddick identified his opening. A disgraced homunculus named Zaya tended the exhibits. Unlike the others, Zaya looked at Riddick not with contempt, but with scientific fascination. When the guards moved ahead, Riddick spoke quietly. "You see it, don't you? What makes me different?" Zaya's multiple eyes focused. The genetic modifications. Experimental, crude but effective. Your ocular enhancements alone are fascinating. I could... Get me on Kyle's new frigate, the Echo of Pain. You get all the samples you want. Living samples. A long pause. Then Zaya's lipless mouth curved into something approximating a smile. The Archon rejected my latest proposal. Called my work pedestrian. Perhaps it is time I found a more appreciative patron. "Don't make a move yet," Riddick said. "Wait for the chaos. There's always chaos."